contract that went to Mr. Singh's corporation for the concessions, I guess, at Tobay and in at the golf course. Right. And specifically, what I know last couple of years ago is he was given I believe a 20-year extension on his lease. And what kind of vetting was done by the town for this gentleman as us, to know that he was a solid, his business was in solid footing, and I'm also just curious if him or his company or family have been donors to anyone sitting on this board over here over the years.
Interesting questions. Now I know why your name is familiar, but you're a candidate, are you not?
I am indeed, yes.
Okay, now I get it. Well, all right, I'll treat you like a candidate.
I'm also a resident, though.
And so am I.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I'm a resident of the town of Oyster Bay since 1940.
I would think so.
Is that nice? You're still a candidate. No, yeah. But anyway, I don't know if you understand the relationship, but I don't know what year the Singh, we'll call it the Singh Enterprises, entered into contracts with the town for the various entities that you described. I suspect it was probably about 15 years ago. So we enjoyed an excellent relationship with Mr. Singh and the various entities that he does business under. The public very, very much enjoyed the work that he did for the town. And I think, like the rest of the world, and this is somewhat conjecture on my part, but I think it's pretty obvious. I think along with the tough economic times that came about, and that 2007, 2009 range, Mr. Singh, like the rest of us, ran into some tough sledding. And I think it's pretty well known now that he has a great deal of financial difficulties. As far as vetting is concerned, we've worked with him for 15 years. We know what he's capable of. We know that his work and his relationship with the residents of the town and the services that he provides are more than acceptable, more than satisfactory. And he ran into difficult economic times. As far as the lease extensions are concerned, I don't know if you're aware, but the Singh contracts are terminable at will, which means that if the town board chose right now to terminate all the contracts, well, we could do that, and he would have no say about it at all.
Penalty.
Has the village been consistently paid? I'm sorry, the town.
If they terminate the contracts, they have to pay
on their contract.
Yeah, over the years, he's been an excellent tenant in terms of the relationship with the residents. He's always paid the rent on time. I suspect that, there were times when he may have missed a month here, missed a month there, but never to the point where it was cause for any concern. Now we're beginning to hear, however, that he's having increasingly difficult financial circumstances in many of his endeavors. So I think we in the town now are, I don't want to say circling the wagons, but we're putting everything together to get an accurate picture of what's going on. We would certainly hate to lose him. You're not going to find too many tenants who are going to enter into a contract that's terminable at will. And when you talk about a 20-year extension, again, this is conjecture on my part. I think a pretty good guess is that he wants to use that paper to probably encourage people to loan him money and to say, look, I have a very long-term lease with the town. But again, I point out to you, because you are, you said you are a resident of the town, and presumably concerned about these things beyond politics. And again, having a contract that's terminable at will, I don't want to say that the length doesn't matter, but as a practical matter to us, it really doesn't. We could terminate it on a moment's notice. And it might matter to him in terms of his ability to borrow money and keep his own ship afloat. But again, that's speculative on my part. And what we're doing in the town right now is trying to get an accurate picture of exactly where he's at and whether his relationship with us is threatened in any way. We don't know that yet.
Okay. And the other question?
Excuse me?
And the other question I asked with regard to previous donations.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I'll get you an answer, though. We'll have to. I would guess that he probably has contributed over the many years. I don't know to what extent. I could. Everybody would have to look at their own personal records. I don't have mine available right now.
And
But I'll find out, and we can give you.
is it normal practice to do extensions without bidding for other potential?
Yeah, I think in this, I'm looking over the town attorney, but yeah, I don't think there's any problem.
Not with the license.
This is, keep in mind, you heard what he said, it is a license
Right.
provision. And as I said, I'm sorry, I'll give you the floor in a second. I just have to keep impressing upon you that these contracts are terminable.
Right. So it's like almost like an NFL contract. You know, you have a contract, but if you decide tomorrow it's over, you can do that.
Yeah, unilaterally. And you know, if you think about it, is it Robert?
Yes. Or
Robert, if you
Bob.
think, oh, you like Bob? Bob, if you think about it, I don't know too many concessionaires out there who would be willing to enter into. You know, one of the very attractive things about the same group over the many years has been, they've been very, very compliant. Again, very, very responsive to the residents. I think if you talk to most residents, they're going to give them pretty good reviews. I don't think you're going to find too many concessionaires out there who would want the arrangement that he has. But unfortunately, at least it appears that he has hit upon troubled times. And I don't know that that's the reason why we should suddenly turn our back on him and kick him out. But having said that, we are the keepers of the town's treasure, if you will. And yeah, if there's any danger to the town or our finances, we may have no choice. Hopefully it won't come to that, though. I personally would like to see him do well. He served us well for a very long time, but if it can't be, it can't be. But those answers remain to be seen.
Thank you.
Robin, thank you. And welcome aboard, by the way.